My name is Kristen Roberts, and I'm presenting on the topic of the recent implementation of Apple iPads in a hospital in Canada called Ottawa Hospital. There's been a shift away from the usage of iPads for entertainment purposes and recreational purposes, a shift away from those purposes and more towards usage in business and professional settings. So the iPad has been implemented in this hospital by 4,000 of the 12,000 employees, and the majority of those employees are doctors, physicians, surgeons, and nurses. They're using these iPads with a specific application that has been created to manage the patient's care, and there's been a lot of coverage of this topic because it is the first implementation of its kind in a specific hospital. Ottawa Hospital has been using these iPads now for a few years and has experienced an immense amount of benefit from doing so. The workplace that this is taking place in is a hospital, but it is also occurring in other places in the medical field, as well as doctors' offices and urgent care centers as well. The organization is a relatively large hospital. As I mentioned, it has 12,000 employees, and Apple.com is cited as saying that the organization has experienced benefits in the areas of bedside care, patient interaction, time saving, and many others. Apple says that the inability to bring information to the bedside meant that physicians had to constantly shuttle between patients and their tethered PCs to get status updates, to schedule surgeries, prescribe drugs, view x-rays, and perform many other important tasks. The hospitals and nurses now have bedside access to everything that they need. They have all of the information in the application that they carry around with them in their handheld tablet on a daily basis, and they're able to remain in contact with their patients and the patient families while viewing the information that is highly critical to their care. The Ontario Society of Medical Technologists say that the paradox of modern healthcare is that despite the proliferation of technology, clinicians across the Western world continue to use manual care delivery processes, which are largely driven by paper forms of documentation such as handwriting, fax machines, and pagers. This paradox is fought by the implementation of iPads in Ottawa Hospital because they are shifting towards a more modernized and new media approach to documenting their patients' information and delivering care. The iPads are mentioned by the Ontario Society of Medical Technologists as revitalizing the way in which doctors work and conduct their bedside manner and care. The application also provides access to the information resources that are given to the doctors by the hospital, such as the hospital formulary, patient care services, and the hospital's collection of online journals and e-texts. So previously, if a doctor needed to schedule an appointment, consult with their schedule, confer with technical literature, they would have to leave their patient to do so, and now all of that is occurring right in front of the patient in the patient's room. The American Bar Association has expressed a great deal of concern over this use of technology, and they are cited as reporting that 83% of physicians own at least one mobile device, and about 1 in 4 doctors are super mobile users, which means that they leverage both smartphones and tablet computers in their medical practices. So what the American Bar Association is concerned with is the fact that the use of these mobile devices, such as iPhones, iPads, Blackberries, and so forth, is a fast-growing trend that may, in fact, violate HIPAA. HIPAA is legislation that protects patients and ensures that they will have confidentiality between themselves and their healthcare providers. The concern surrounding this issue is that whenever one engages in technology, that it can leave sensitive information vulnerable to potential hacking, or anyone that wants to recover information that they have no business recovering. When these documents are put into technology, there's always a chance that the information can be compromised. So the American Bar Association raises some concern regarding that. However, that concern is combated due to the fact that this specific application that is being used by the doctors has a very high level of security, and the physicians are reminded of the importance of maintaining the patient confidentiality, and the Ontario Society of Medical Technologists actually states that it was of the utmost importance to maintain patient security and privacy when they were creating and implementing this project. The technical support team behind this implementation actually has the ability to erase iPads remotely in the event that they are damaged or lost. And there are 2 levels of security and passwords that are incorporated into the application layer of this software application. There are many course concepts that relate to this topic that we have learned about this semester in COM377. The technology has been implemented to satisfy the need that medical professionals have to uphold their pledge to deliver their best care possible. The medical field is constantly revolutionizing the way it deals with and cares for its patients, and therefore medical practices evolve with evolution of scientific findings, research, and new technology as it becomes available. Doctors are using technology based on this need that they must satisfy. Affordance theory in relation to this topic states that a well-designed product will suggest the way that it is used, and as I mentioned before, iPads are very compact and easy to carry around. Doctors are very often in life or death situations and on the go, so the usage of the iPad is ideal according to affordance or readiness in hand theory, stating that it will be used based on the way that it is designed. So it is in fact being used due to the great design that works well in the medical field. The implementation of this technology is a knowledge management system. The knowledge is of medical in nature and generally pertaining to the patient's chart history and medical history. The community of practice that is implementing it is the doctors who are now working with this revolutionary technology in their everyday works and interactions with patients. And this structured method allows doctors to access information as quickly as they need it, which lets them better treat and serve their patients as well as conduct their work more efficiently. This technology allows for the collaboration of doctors. If a patient is being attended to by more than one doctor, they are able to communicate with each other in the form of asynchronous communication, which is technology that allows what happens at another time in another place to be effective again here and now. So a doctor can make a notation on a chart of a patient, and later that day another doctor can confer with that information, and it will be of importance to them and of importance to the patient's care. This is an example of computer-supported collaborative work, which can be abbreviated to CSCW. CSCW is a conduit that helps pre-existing teams to exchange information, and the pre-existing team is the 4,000 employees who are now utilizing this technology in Ottawa Hospital. Gareth Morgan presents root metaphors for organization, and in terms of that, this organization can be viewed as a brain, which means that there is great emphasis on knowledge, learning, and decision making, and the role of technology in viewing the hospital through this metaphor is the use of iPads, allowing doctors to engage with patients to do their work that they normally would be doing behind closed doors in their offices, now inside their patients' rooms, which is increasing the interaction that they have with them, and therefore bettering their care and providing a space for interaction between them. It also clearly makes the relevant information possible. As stated before, doctors now have access right at their hands, and also they can confer with the library's journals and increase their own knowledge to better serve their patients. The apps that are in use by the hospital also process very complex information such as patient graphs and charts. Generally, this implementation has produced a variety of positive impacts in the hospital, and the specific case has modeled for other hospitals and healthcare providers the benefits of incorporating a technology such as a tablet or iPad. Doctors are now able to spend more time with their patients and less time doing work behind closed doors. Doctors are allowing patients more time to ask questions and also conferring with other providers in order to produce the highest quality care possible. One problem that could potentially arise that I foresee would only be in terms of security, and I believe that higher levels of coding should be implemented to secure that patients' information will remain in safe hands throughout their time at hospitals that are implementing this form of technology. Thank you.